Okay, now that we're on this topic, I just want to point out there's a different way of specifying colors here. I said the name black, but there's so many colors. The spectrum is huge. There's no way we can have every single variant of a color in a name. So that's why we use what's called hex values. So let me show you here. So you always start with a pound sign, and then you're going to specify two characters for the red, two for the green, and two for the blue. RGB, if you ever heard that term, RGB, that's what it means, red, green, blue. So how red do you want this? Let's say I want very red. So I have to use hexadecimal values. If you don't know about that, I suggest you Google hexadecimal values. So basically, usually we have base 10, which we count 0 through 9. And then we go back to 0 as we change the digits. So hex is like 0 through 9, and then it goes to A, B, C, D, E, F. So the last value is like F, so I can type FF here, which means the full red. And then if I don't want any more colors, I can say 0, 0 for green, 0, 0 for blue. And if I click run, it's going to be all red. So basically 0, 0 is like 0 in decimal. Basically no such thing, no value for the color. And FF is like the maximum. In this case, maximum red. Okay. So let's say I change the first to 0, 0 and then FF. So red, green is the middle too. So this would be green, full green. And then finally, if I just do 0, 0, 0, 0, and then red, green, blue is the last two. FF, that means fully blue. Okay, so that's the hex value for colors. You're also going to see that as well as another alternative to not having to say a specific name. Now, if you want to find out the hex color values, you can always use DevTools. Again, right click, inspect, and then go here. You see the color, click that, and you can see as you change the color here, it changes the values of the hex. So you can copy this value. Let's say you like this kind of cyan or teal. Okay, click outside, and then you copy this value, hex, and you paste it here. And then you click run. And then you have that for yourself. Basically, it's like a combination of red, green, and blue, with red being 41, green being D3, and blue D3. And you can use a calculator if you don't know hex value, like FF to decimal. Basically, F is like, I think it's 256. Yeah, 255. You can have 256 values if you do 0 through 255, including the 0 is 256, right? So that's FF is basically 255 if you were to do decimal. Which leads me to another way of specifying the color, which is RGB. Like you can say here, RGB, and then you can specify what's the R, what's the G, what's the blue. The difference here is you can do decimal. Like if I do 255, comma 0, comma 0, and that's going to be red, because the red, the R is just 255, which is the same as FF. Okay. And then green is 0, and then blue is 0. If you find this easier to see than hex, then you can use this. These are the decimal values. So similarly, the green would be just 0 for red, 255, which is the maximum value for green, and then 0 for blue, and that's green. And then finally for blue is 0, comma, 0, comma, 255, and that's blue. Now the space between the comma is not necessary. I just put it to better visualize it myself, okay? I hope that was not too much, a little bit of decimal system, base 10, base 16. Okay, different ways of specifying the value of a color that you might see. But it's always RGB, red, green, blue.